Imagine this. You manage a team, and your top expert walks in saying, "I just found the greatest AI tool ever. It's 99.9% accurate." Sounds amazing, right? But here's the catch. Those big numbers can hide the kind of mistakes that could sink your project, or worse, put people at real risk. Today we're going to pull back the curtain and show you how to read the fine print on an AI's report card. Trust me, once you see what's behind that headline accuracy, you'll never look at these tools the same way again. Stick with me until the end, because the final piece I'll reveal is the real deal breaker. And don't forget, like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss insights that could make or break your next big decision.
Hey everyone! We hear about AI all the time, right? How it's changing the world, how smart it is. But how do we actually grade it? Especially when we're trusting it with something really important, like our health. Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain and learn how to read the fine print on an AI's report card. So picture this. You go to the doctor, you take a test, and they use a brand new AI to check the results. The company that made it says it's 99.9% accurate. I mean, wow, right? That sounds basically perfect. You'd probably feel pretty good about whatever that AI says. But hang on a second. That tiny little 0.1%, that's not just a number. It represents real people. And when the stakes are this high, that one big, shiny number, accuracy, it just doesn't tell you the whole story. In fact, sometimes it can be really, really misleading. You know, you can think of it like a student's report card. If a kid comes home with an A in a class, you think, awesome, great job. But what if they got that A just by acing all the easy quizzes and completely skipping the final exam? See? That single grade hides a lot. It's exactly the same with AI. This quote right here just blows the whole thing wide open. Let me give you a real-world example. Down syndrome happens in about 1 in every 800 pregnancies. So an AI could be programmed to just say, everything's fine for every single person. It would be wrong only 1 time out of 800. That would give it a 99.875% accuracy score. But that AI would be completely and utterly useless because it would fail the one person it was actually designed to help. So if we really want to know what's going on, we have to look past that one big number and get into the details. And the good news is, anytime an AI makes a prediction, there are really only 4 things that can happen. Let's break them down. Okay, to see all 4 of these outcomes at once, the experts use something called a confusion matrix. Now, I know it sounds super complicated, but it's not, I promise. It's just a simple little box that compares what the AI thinks is true to what's actually true. Let's fill it in. First up, we've got the best-case scenario. The AI spots a problem and it's right. It says you have the condition, and you really do. We call that a true positive. That's a big win for the AI. And then there's the other good outcome. The AI says, nope, you're all good. And it's right again. You're perfectly healthy. That's a true negative. Now, these two are what we want. But what happens when the AI messes up? Well, this is the first kind of mistake, a false positive. It's basically a false alarm. The AI flags something, says you have a condition, but you actually don't. This can cause a ton of unnecessary stress, not to mention more tests you didn't really need. And then there's this one, the second and often way more dangerous mistake, a false negative. This is when the AI gives you the all clear, but it's wrong. You actually do have the condition. A real problem gets missed entirely, and that could mean you don't get treatment when you need it most. And this brings us to a crucial point. Not all errors are created equal. This whole thing leads to a really important trade-off. Think about it. Do you want an AI that acts like a giant fishing net designed to catch every single fish, even if it scoops up some boots and seaweed along the way? Or do you want an AI that's more like a careful diamond expert who only points out a flaw if they are absolutely 100% certain it's there? So in the world of data science, that catcher quality has a name. It's called sensitivity, and it answers a really simple question. Of all the people who are actually sick, what percentage did the AI manage to find? High sensitivity is great because it means very few sick people get missed. And the flip side of that is called specificity. This is our confirmer. It answers this question, of all the people who are actually healthy, what percentage did the AI correctly tell you're totally fine? High specificity is awesome because it means very few healthy people get a false alarm. And here is the absolute key. You can almost never have perfect scores in both. It's a trade-off. If you tweak the AI to be a better catcher, to have higher sensitivity, it's probably going to start creating more false alarms. And if you make it a better confirmer, well, it might miss a few real cases.
Deciding on the right balance depends entirely on what you're using the AI for.
But wait, there's actually another layer to this. Most modern AI doesn't just give you a simple yes or no. It gives you a probability, a confidence score. And that little number tells us a whole lot about how much we should actually trust the prediction. Just think about your email's spam filter. Let's say both of these emails get sent to your spam folder. But look at the confidence scores. One says there's a 51% chance it's spam. That's basically a coin flip. The other says there's a 99% chance. That number makes a huge difference in how you're going to treat that email, right?
So the question we have to ask is the AI's confidence actually meaningful? The pros call this being well-calibrated, but in plain English, it just means this. If an AI says it's 20% sure about something, is it actually right about 20% of the time? So for every 5 times it says it's 20% sure, is it right about 1 of them? If its confidence lines up with reality like that, it's a way, way more trustworthy tool.
Okay, so we've got our catchers, our confirmers, and now these confidence scores. It feels like a lot to juggle. But lucky for us, the experts have a really cool way to see that whole catcher versus confirmer trade-off in a single, powerful picture.
It's called an ROC curve. And again, sounds super technical, but the idea behind it is really simple. It's a graph that just plots the good catches against the false alarms. It lets you see exactly how the AI performs as you make it more cautious or more aggressive.
And here's the easy way to read one of these charts. Just imagine a graph where the perfect AI lives up in the top left corner. That magical corner represents catching 100% of the real problems with 0% false alarms. So a better AI is simply one whose line on the graph bows up and gets as close as possible to that perfect spot. That's it. So look at that. We've gone from one single kind of misleading number to a whole new toolkit for really understanding how an AI performs. So let's put it all together. What should you ask the next time you hear a headline about some super accurate AI? Here are the questions that will help you read that fine print. First, don't just ask, what's the accuracy? Ask, and what kind of mistakes does it make? Second, for this particular problem, what do we care about more? Being a good catcher or a good confirmer? Third, how confident is the AI, and can we actually trust that confidence level? And finally, how does it stack up against the competition when you look at the whole picture?
Because knowing to ask these questions, well, it changes everything. You're no longer just taking a big number at face value. You're now equipped to think critically about how an AI really works and what its numbers actually mean. So the next time you see that big headline, you'll know exactly what's hiding in the fine print. Thanks for joining me for this
You
explanation.
just watched an episode of AI Explained to Your Grandma, your go-to series to learn artificial intelligence and machine learning without the jargon. Understand the basics of AI in plain English. Get the intuition behind machine learning. Challenge your data scientist with smart questions. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next episode.